Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of The Daily. It's Wednesday, January 4th, here with Greg Lawless. I'm Nick Fershaw, and Greg, all eyes on the EPL today. Landon Donovan set to make his debut on the second loan with Everton, debuting against Bolton, 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox Soccer Plus. What do we expect out of this one? Are we going to see Landon on the field in this one?
Well, according to the head coach, David Moyes, Landon has looked very good in training and has fit in. So I do think that he's going to get some time. Moyes actually went on the record saying that he expects to give him a couple of minutes at least against Bolton. I'd be surprised if he got a start, but don't forget his last loan deal, he all of a sudden was a shock starter in his first game. So maybe Moyes is looking for a little bit of an injection of speed and some sort of that energy that he's going to bring to the fans at Goodison Park when Landon steps on the field.
Again, that game 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox Soccer Plus. There's also news in the world of David Beckham. We've been talking about him the last couple of days and that deal that fell through for Paris Saint-Germain.
Last couple of days? We've been talking last couple of weeks.
Tim Leiweke, the president of AEG, optimistic that they can sign a deal with David Beckham, but nothing's done yet.
No, and he actually stressed that when he was talking to some of the media outlets out in Los Angeles. And Leiweke said, this is not done yet. He was very, very adamant to say that. But he also said, I am confident a deal will get done. He mentioned a couple of things. One, there have been several offers from clubs other than Paris Saint-Germain, actually, that they are contending with. The second thing is the clause in Beckham's contract that says he has the rights to a franchise when he's done playing. And that's something that, like he said, is another issue that they're having to work through regarding his contract if he is to come back in 2012.
One other bit of news from the world of the LA Galaxy. We've been talking about Robbie Keane the last couple of days and potential interest from Aston Villa. Now we're finding out there is some loan interest from Celtic as well. So curious to see how that turns out for Robbie Keane. Let's move down south to FC Dallas. They've been quiet this offseason, Greg. A lot of people waiting for them to make a move. They certainly made it on Tuesday. Blas Perez, the Panamanian striker, and Hernan Pertuz, the Colombian big center back. Two big signings for FC Dallas. They've been quiet up till now. They definitely made some noise.
Yeah, they have. And a lot of their noise that they've made so far was getting rid of players. Actually, we think of Marvin Chavez being traded off to San Jose. But now they've made a move and gotten some big players in. Blas Perez, of course, Panamanian striker, has shown very well. Every time he plays against the U.S., he seems to score a goal. He's got size, he's got speed, he knows how to finish. Pertuz is that center back that I think they're going to be looking for, because what that might herald is that one of their center backs, Ihemalu or George John, most likely George John, might be on the way out. Don't forget, mid-season last year, John was reportedly moving over to England. It looked like it was a done deal, and then it ended up falling through in the end. So maybe there's another move in the works with Pertuz joining FCD.
Well, you mentioned big Colombian center backs. It's tough to avoid Wilman Conde, the former Chicago Fire defender, who coming out and saying that, yeah, he's considering a return to MLS. Greg, this is a guy that was very good in his time in MLS with the Chicago Fire. Fell out at the end, wanted to take a shot down in Mexico, talking about coming back to MLS.
Yeah, and he says basically that he's waiting for an offer from MLS. And I think that maybe that's a little bit, I don't know, impervious of him to actually think, well, where's my offer? That kind of thing. Yeah. But it also is heralding that he is interested in coming back, and I think this is a player that I believe the Chicago Fire still have his rights, so they would have, or at least the right of first refusal if he were to choose to come back to MLS. And I think that Frank Klopas, a guy who liked Conde when he was there, he obviously would like to have him back in Chicago, I would imagine.
Yeah, he was one of the bedrocks of that defensive group when the Chicago Fire made the Eastern Conference Final repeatedly back in the old days for the Chicago Fire. Last but not least, for the Colorado Rapids, we've been talking about their new head coach and the head coaching search underway. We got down to about 4 candidates in the last week. Well, now we're getting reports that Oscar Pareja, the longtime FC Dallas assistant coach and a former FC Dallas and Dallas Burn player, could be the man in charge. This would be a different move for the Colorado Rapids.
Yeah, lots of reports out there that it will be Pareja. Of course, the Rapids are not saying anything about this. They have said a little bit earlier that they would make an announcement this week. Now, Pareja, of course, he brings lots of experience, both as a player with FC Dallas and Dallas Burn, as you said, but he's also done very well with the academy team down at FC Dallas. Several players that have come through there. When you're thinking about Richard Sanchez, you're thinking about Luna and Leyva and a couple of young players that he's produced that have now joined the first team. So I think Pareja will bring a little bit of that South American feel also that Paul Bravo has talked about wanting for the Colorado Rapids. A little bit of a shift, actually a big shift away from what Gary Smith had, the Englishman, with the success he had. That's going to be something Pareja will have to deal with.
Again, that is not confirmed, but the Colorado Rapids expected to make an announcement this week. Some of the other names we heard, Richie Williams, Dennis Hamlet, some of the other candidates that we heard, and Tommy Sohn from the Vancouver Whitecaps. Stay tuned to see if there's final news on Oscar Pareja. Last but not least, Extra Time Radio, the latest edition, came out on Tuesday. We talked to Brian Strauss of the Sporting News about the David Beckham situation, as well as Rob Stone, the new voice for Fox Soccer, coming over from ESPN. It's some great stories about bidding adieu to the bowling community that
no more ham bone, it seems.
No more ham bone for Rob Stone. You can catch the latest edition of Extra Time Radio on iTunes and Buzzsprout. That does it for us. Another edition of the Daily Down. We'll see you back again tomorrow.